What are some of the 5 major mistakes done by people in investments? In this video, I am going to cover this topic in detail. So stay till the end and you will understand what are these mistakes which you should also avoid in your journey. So let us just start one by one. So the number one mistake is people do their investments blindly without thinking of returns. For example, if someone is telling them to invest in a real estate, land or a flat maybe, they will blindly invest into that without even thinking of what kind of return they can expect from that. And why it is important to think of the returns before the investment. Right? Let me tell you that why it is important. So it is important to know about the returns beforehand because we want to beat the inflation. If the return is 5% but if the inflation is 6%, you are not increasing your wealth. You are not getting returns. You are in fact eroding your wealth, right? So any investment that you do, first of all, you should ask yourself, am I going to beat inflation through this investment or not? If yes, then go ahead. If not, then you stop it. There's no point. Alright, let's move to the second mistake done by people, and that is no diversification. And what do I mean by no diversification? It just means that putting all your eggs in one basket means putting all your hard earned money in very few investments, very few investment instruments. For example, you have put all your investment capital into those assets which are really very risky, like low quality companies or cryptocurrency as an example. So they might give you extremely good and rapid returns in a short period of time, but then the speed with which they rise, even at a faster speed, they will come down. Right? So in the recent past, we have seen how cryptocurrency has fallen down so rapidly. Even in the recent market correction, there have been so many stocks, so many companies whose prices have fallen down like a rock. Okay, so don't go for those companies or those kind of investments where it is very risky, and you should properly diversify your portfolio. So basically, your portfolio should be divided into such a way that it provides a good inflation adjusted returns as well as it also provides stability. So you should have a mix of debt, bonds, FDs, gold, real estate as well as equities. In equity, again, you need to diversify a little bit. So in equity, you need to have your allocation into large cap companies, mid cap companies and small cap companies. Right? So don't remain invested into just one class of asset like large cap. Don't put all your capital in large cap or don't put all your capital into mid cap. You should have a balance across the asset classes. Now a question arises, how do I find out how much I need to put in equity and how much I need to put into FDs and other safe instruments, right? For that, there is a very sound principle in finance which is called rule of 100. And what is this rule of 100? Let me tell you. So according to rule of 100, what you should do, just subtract your age from 100 and whatever comes out, that should be your maximum allocation in equities, right? So if your age is 40 years, 60% of your capital should go into equity and the remaining 40% should go into the safe instruments. Safe instruments means FDs, bonds, PPF, NSE, like these, right? So this is the rule of 100. So with this, I have covered the principle of diversification, why it is important to have diversification and how you can do it. Let's move on to the third mistake. The third mistake is no due diligence or homework done before investment, especially when it comes to equity investments. So what happens is, most of the time people invest into equities based on some tips from the so-called experts, right? Whom they think that they are very knowledgeable or they possess a lot of information and they put their hard-earned money into those equity companies based on those tips, which is not right? So whenever you are doing investment into equity, especially, you should do your own homework, because when you do your own homework, you will have confidence, you will have conviction to put your capital into it. If you have not done the homework, maybe you will put a small capital based on the tips, but then you will not be able to put a large sum of money just based on the tip, right? Let's move on to the next mistake. No process or framework on when to invest and when to exit. Now, this is really very important. So we should have extreme clarity on when we need to invest our capital, when we need to enter that investment, and when we need to come out of it, right? Don't be like a Abhimanyu in Mahabharata. You know about the story of the Abhimanyu. It was easy for him to enter the Chakravyuh, but then he did not know how to come out. Same way, whenever you are doing investment into any instrument, be it real estate, be it equities, it is extremely important to understand when to come out. And for that, you need to have a very good process created for yourself. A process which can give you clarity on when you should enter and when you should exit. If you don't have the process, you will do your entry and exit decisions based on the gut feeling, or based on the market euphoria, or based on the tips, which will cause emotional turbulence in you, right? Because if the prices are coming down, if it is not appreciating, then you will start feeling nervous. Why you will feel nervous? Because you don't have a process in place which will tell you when to enter, when to exit. And if you have not done the homework also before, then it's even worse, right? And it may also happen that when you don't have a process, you may exit your investment even before it matures fully. So for example, you invested into a equity in a company and it doubled your capital in, let's say, 1 year. And you took out all your capital, took out all your investments from that equity, from that company, because it doubled in that 1 year, and you were feeling very happy that okay, my money is doubled. But it may also happen that in the next 2 years, the same company may increase your capital to 4 times. So if you remain invested into that company for 3 more years, you would have increased your capital by 4 times. But then you came out pretty early, right? So that is one drawback of not having a process. Another drawback is, similarly, when the company prices are falling down, when the share prices are falling down, and you don't have a process or a framework, even then what will happen? When it is time for you to exit, right? You will not exit. You will think that the prices may come back to the original level very soon. Like in the case of Yes Bank, DHFL, a lot of these examples are there in the Indian market, where investors thought that the prices will come back again to the original level, but they never came back. So it is very important to understand when you need to exit and when you need to enter. And for that, you should have a dependable process, right? So that was mistake number 4. And now, last but not the least, another mistake which is done, it is the short-term focus rather than the long-term focus. So people are very short-term focused these days. Everybody wants quick money. Nobody wants to wait for a long time to realize the potential of compounding, right? People want to double their capital in 6 months, in 1 year. They want to make it 4 times, 3 times, like that. But you see, anything which is really worthwhile, it takes time, right? So if your investment is not getting double in a year or something, don't be discouraged by that. Just see if your investments are growing steadily at a rate more than inflation or not. If this is happening on a steadily basis, then you are doing good. and ultimately the effect of compounding will kick into, and you will enjoy the benefits of compounding, but not in the early stages, in the later stages of the life, right? So that is all on the mistakes done by the investors these times. I have covered 5 mistakes. I hope you don't do any of these mistakes. If you have been doing it, please stop doing that, and please pay attention on how you can improve your investment journey further. Alright, so I hope you like this video. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel and put in your comment box what has been your topmost key learning from this video. Alright, so that's all in this video. Thank you for watching and take care.